Welcome back to week 13 of the NFL season. This is our NFL bet show where we give you our three favorite bets, including our locks of the week, which just went 4-0 this past week. Alex and Nick both went 3-0 on their picks. Corey and I kind of, you know, we hit our locks, but our other picks weren't as great. So hopefully Corey and I could have a bounce back here.
Well,
Uh,
yeah. Well, when did Bryce Young be turned into Patrick Mahomes 2.0? Like, what was that about?
He
What
was
was
making
that?
some nice throws. He was
He was making
making
a lot of
some
good
nice.
throws. I watched like
Yeah,
a 3-minute highlight tape of
yeah.
him just dropping dimes. I was like, what is going on? Like the one time I bet against him, he decides to turn into Patrick Mahomes reincarnated. So yeah, and then we'll talk about the Colts, but it's hard to beat any team, especially one of the best teams when the refs are against you the majority of the game. So
Oh, here we go.
yeah, well.
I think it was more of their receivers' hands were against them most of the game.
Well, yeah, I mean, we don't have a tight end. That sucks. Jelani Woods was about to be Jesus Christ this year, and fortunately, he got a toe injury. And
And
yeah, I
Josh
mean,
Downs forgot how to
yeah, how
catch.
many best ball teams just sunk with Jelani Woods?
I came off of him. I think at the end, I like 15% of
I
him,
mean, he
maybe
was
less.
like
It's
a
probably less than
last
that.
round pick, but
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, all right. I'll start us off. Since I'm on the mic now.
okay.
I'll start us off with divisional game: Steelers Bengals under 47. This is the type of game. You got a pretty good defensive side with the Steelers. You got Cincinnati's offense who can move the ball at points and times, but I don't think the Pittsburgh Steelers offense is very explosive. They're able to do some things with Pickens in the passing game, but primarily they're a run first team. So I think this is, just a typical AFC North game. And I like the under. And for the fact is that I can't hit a bet. I gotta change up something. And this seems like the perfect spot to do it. I
I
don't
love
know
it.
what else to say about it, but I like the under.
I like that bet a lot.
I actually almost had that one on my card as well.
There you go, Nick, that's your division. Would you approve the under for that as well?
Yeah, I don't know. The Cincy defense is pretty weak, but I don't know that the Steelers like put up 40 points or something. So
No, didn't they only score like 20 points until like one time, like for the first like 6 weeks, 7 weeks. They
yeah.
weren't scoring a lot of points.
Well, when
I
you
know
have
we're
Justin
week
Fields as
13,
your
but
quarterback, it's not really gonna lead to a lot of points. But anyway,
I think the Steelers defense limit Burrow and Chase's ability to break a slate. So
and it's 29 degrees there. That's what it's expected to be like.
yeah, it just
Cold
seems like a
game.
classic like low scoring divisional game there.
yeah.
All right,
All
who's
right.
next?
My first bet of the week of Turkey Week is going to be the Chargers minus 1.5. So the Chargers have been winning ball games by controlling the ball, not giving up anything easy on defense, and winning the turnover battle most games. Herbert is 13 TDs to one interception this year, and I think this Chargers team is still a really solid team. They just took a step up in class against the Ravens. They had some costly mistakes, some drop balls, and just were out executed at the end of the day. But I trust in Harbaugh football. I trust that he cleans it up and they bounce back on the road here. I think Herbert and the run game get back on track. Ravens did a pretty good job of bottling up J.K., who got hurt that game. But I think Gus Edwards steps in, kind of like we were talking about at the beginning of the year. And the Falcons are middle of the pack against the run. So I think the Chargers, they get to play Charger football here. Harbaugh football, man football. They control the clock and they win the turnover battle and come out with the dub.
Okay, Nick.
All right, I'll take one here. I'm going with the Dolphins Packers over Thanksgiving night. You know, just straight conspiracy theory pick here. The NFL's not going to put a bad game on while everyone's watching Thanksgiving dinner, eating their pie. So, no, two great teams. Interconference play. I think explosive offenses on both sides, and since Tua came back, the Dolphins have put up more than 25 points in 4 out of their last 5 games. Uh, Packers have only done it 2 out of 5, but I think both teams could easily get to 30 each. Uh, should be a nice showdown. So taking the over there.
I'd be scared of the Packers putting up points.
So
That's the only. I think the Dolphins' defense is really good. But I can see. Feed into your conspiracy theories, Nick. You're right on top of it. Just like that lady who called into the Texans radio show saying that the cartel has a hold over the Texans and the play calling. That's why Kai Fairborn was missing field goals and the play calling was not very good against the Titans. So same mindset. It sounds like.
Yeah. I know the Dolphins have a good defense, but I think no one can seem to stop Josh Jacobs and the Packers run game. And that gives Jordan Love so many different options.
I do think that'll be the Packers game plan, but I mean if you're like the over, that's kind of plays into the under there if you think their game plan is Josh Jacobs.
Yeah. It's only 47 though. Like I don't think it's that much for reach.
All right. My first pick is the Patriots +3. Anthony Richardson is just a guy that you don't want to be betting on as like a 3-point away favorite. He's very inconsistent. Also, Drake May has shown flashes of upside as well and could definitely take advantage of a weaker Colts secondary. I want to be betting on Richardson when he's the underdog, and you play into the upside for like that inconsistency. He shows these flashes of greatness and then he looks terrible. So if you over time we're just betting on him as an underdog and fading him as a favorite, especially an away favorite in New England, like I think you're going to be profitable over time. Like I typically see myself on like last week, even though it didn't hit. I liked being on the Colts against the Lions just because I thought it was a good matchup. So he's just a player that I'll always just kind of be on as underdogs, but when he's a favorite and especially an away favorite is when I will be against him. So. Sorry,
Alex, you can go.
sorry, Corey. I'm sorry. So you think it's personal, but it's just this is what I'm thinking here.
I'll keep it fairly short and sweet because I think I got some bodyguard backup on the way for this pick. PB, I went against you last week with the Eagles and Rams
You
game. I'm
did.
going against you again here. Worked out last week. We'll see if it works out again. I'm on the Colts. You can get them at -2.5 under that field goal at a couple of Illinois books. So, going to take the Colts -2.5. We kind of touched on it at the top of the episode, but I don't think that box score against the Lions was an indication of how that game actually was played. I think it was actually, I mean, the Lions were in control that entire game, but it wasn't as big of a blowout as it looked in the box score. You had a couple of drops in the end zone or on important plays on the Colts side of the ball. The Lions are just in a different class than the Colts. There's nothing wrong with that. They're one of the best teams in the NFL right now, and that's not a knock on the Colts and how they looked. So the Dolphins just had this Patriots team 31-0. The Pats are 3-9 ATS when down at half, and the Colts are 7-2 ATS as favorites this year. I think the Colts get started fast and don't look back, and the Patriots I don't think can keep up with Anthony Richardson in this offense.
I will say the Colts started 3 offensive rookies on the O line again, and our right guard Tucker was absolutely exposed. We brought in actually a former Colts player who was on the Giants a couple years ago, Glukowski. He's now back. He should be on the offensive line this week. If he's not, I'd be shocked. I mean, we had over 110 yards and penalties, and that was like accumulated to like 30 yards of passing for Anthony Richardson in that game. Like it was. I think it's yeah. I mean, it's if you watch the box score and you look at it, like yeah, Anthony Richardson had a terrible game. He actually played phenomenal. He's pressured on like I think something crazy. 24 of his like 27 dropbacks. Like when he had a clean pocket, he was able to hit his receivers. So I just don't. And to think Drake May can hold it within three. I disagree with that. I'm not saying the Colts defense is some world beaters, but like I mean, last week against Detroit, we played zone except for one play. So like, and that was because we were limiting the big play of the Lions. Like, there's no big play threat on the Patriots at all. So I don't see us like sitting back in zone and just letting Drake May dump it off. Like Gus Bradley, who never dials up blitz, I think he's going to blitz Drake May a lot and throw him off. That's just my 2 cents.
Okay. We will see. I think it's going to be a real close game there.
No, I think you're wrong.
Okay. All right. Who's next?
I'll take it. I'm taking another Turkey Bowl game here. Cowboys and Giants, the ugliest game probably of the week. Battle the backups with Cooper Rush and Tommy DeVito. I'm taking the over 37. I think it's obviously in Jerry World. The Cowboys always seem to show up for Thanksgiving. I think they put on a good game. I think that I think Rico Dowdle actually has a pretty good game here. And the thing is with it, like even if I know CeeDee Lamb is questionable for the game. He's definitely going to play. I think Tommy DeVito can turn the ball over. I think that's the way points can be scored. Obviously, the kicking game and the return game for the Cowboys, like their kicking game is Brandon Aubrey has been pretty piss poor last couple weeks, but I think he gets back on track. Like I think he can make scoring drives. I can see like a 21-17 type of game. Like I think on the other side of the ball, Malik Neighbors is going to get targeted. If he's getting target 30% of the routes he's running, like or getting 30% of target shares, like against this Cowboy secondary, like I just think there's ways for this game to go over 37. And to give you a little stat line here, the total has gone over in 5 of the last 5 games between the Giants and Cowboys. So give me the over here.
Okay. All right. I'll take number 2 pick here. I'm going with the Broncos, Monday Night Football, under 42 points. The Browns have only scored more than 20 points twice this year. Once, obviously, last week in a Snow Bowl, Nick Chubb revenge game. Probably the only reason we got over 20. And the only other time was against the Ravens, kind of a hype game, interdivision. Stefanski has the number of every AFC North team. So chalking it up to that. I think it's a huge letdown spot for Bo Nix as well. They've been, running pretty hot, but I think the Browns defense will be one of the best tests for the rookie quarterback this season. And, I think the Broncos also have a really good defense. So I'm expecting just kind of a slow grinding game, not a ton of fireworks. So taking the under here.
Well, since we're talking about this game, I'll just jump into it. My lock of the week here: Browns plus 5.5. Now you're gonna look at me and be like, Corey, what are you doing? Well, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm 13-20 this year, so I got to change something up. And this is the game.
And you decided to go with the Browns?
Give me the Browns. Give me the Browns. And this also plays into my heartstrings too, because I do need the Denver Broncos to lose games. So would I take Brownies money line? I would love to, but not going to go that bold. I'm just going to take the 5.5 here. Again, before the show started, PB touched on it. I think that Bo Nix, great. If Jaden Daniels wasn't drafted this year, Bo Nix would definitely be Rookie of the Year. He's been playing. He could be. If Jaden Daniels can't figure out how to beat a good team, then he's just stat padding against really bad teams right now. But Bo Nix has been playing very well. He seems to make plays with his feet. He obviously has a connection with Courtland Sutton, but the Denver or the Browns secondary could give him fits. Obviously with what they have, you still have Myles Garrett on the front. Like, he's 30 years old, but he's still playing like he's 23. Like, dude's a game wrecker. Denver can't run the ball. I mean, they have no run game whatsoever. Audric Estime, Javonte Williams, and McLaughlin. Like, I think Javonte Williams had 2 carries for like 6 yards last week. So I can see this game being played into the hands of the Cleveland Browns and making Bo Nix throw the ball a lot. And if that's the case, I'm going to take a really good defense against a rookie quarterback, 9 out of 10 times. So hopefully it's not the one time where I get beat, because I need a 3-0 week, to wrap up the rest of the seasons to make sure that I'm above water here when my with my win-loss record. So give me the Browns, and then stat for you: Denver is 2-4 ATS and the last 6 games played in December. So take that to the bank.
Yeah, that was my second pick, is the Browns plus 5.5. Kind of everything along the lines of what Corey said. I just think this is going to be a big defensive game for the Browns. I think Myles Garrett is going to give Bo Nix all sorts of problems here. Like Corey mentioned, the run game just isn't really there for the Broncos, and it's not like you can really run on the Browns much to begin with. Well, actually, the players that typically run the best against the Browns are like these explosive, like really efficient runners, which doesn't seem like the Broncos have right now, really. And so, yeah, you're going to see Bo Nix being forced to pass a lot. I think the Browns are just going to scheme up a lot of things to give him all sorts of problems. It's a perfect sell high spot for Bo Nix. He's played great this year, really surpassed most people's expectations, but getting 5.5 against the Browns. Um, and I mean, Winston, yeah, he's turnover prone, but he can sling it and he can put up points too. So I think the Browns are going to keep this one close, and I wouldn't be shocked if they steal a win here.
Need it. Need it for the Colts playoff hopes. Need it.
I don't want it. I will say Myles Garrett I think he needs 1.5 sacks to get to the youngest player for 100 sacks total in their career. So,
yeah,
That's
I mean,
all.
he's gonna. I think he could get it this game for sure.
Yeah, he'll be fired up.
All right, who wants to go next for their lock?
I'll take I got the Rams minus.
You get there?
Yeah, I'm taking the Rams -2 against the Saints. Obviously, the Saints are coming off a bye, so it's a little concerning because, Taysom Hill at the age of 45, probably could have used that rest week after a huge Browns victory there. I think the Rams are going to stop them. I don't think the secondary for the Saints is going to hold up against Puka and Kupp at all. So I'm expecting Stafford to have a huge game. It's going to be one of my favorite quarterbacks playing DFS. And I think they're going to steamroll the Saints.
I think it's going to go under. That's where I would bet. But yeah, I think the Rams are going to win, but I just think that game's going to be.
I mean, you can't expect MVS to put up another stat line of 3 for 3 for 125 and 2 touchdowns, can you? I hope not.
Saints season's kind of over. Rams really, really need a win. They couldn't do it against a good Eagles team, so I think they bounce back pretty strong here.
Yeah.
All right, my lock of the week is a game we already kind of prefaced, but the Packers -3 on for a night game of Turkey Day.
I think isn't it the noon game? Isn't it the first game?
No,
Oh wait,
No, prime time.
Oh, Packers. That's right. They're playing the Dolphins.
yeah. So we talked about Tua looking better the last couple weeks, but let's not forget that was against the Raiders and the Patriots these last two. And honestly, this is mostly just a weather uniform matchup for me. We're looking at a high in the 20s plus double-digit wins. which negates a lot of what the Dolphins want to do and what their offense is built for, and that's speed, motion, decoys, and you're going to need to run the ball in this weather, and that's got Josh Jacobs' name all over it. Miami's defense has been solid all year. They're a little bit worse against the run than they are against the pass. And Josh Jacobs, I think, he's built for Lambeau weather. I mean, that's a big boy back there. But really, yeah, this is a uniform matchup. One of these teams' uniforms can play in the cold, and one of these teams' uniforms cannot. Tua's 0-5 in games under 40 degrees in his career. So give me unfortunately, the Packers at Lambeau on Turkey Day.
Gobble, gobble.
My lock of the week is going to be Arizona, Minnesota over 45. To me, that could I'm on a lot of unders. I think there was like 12 bets I think I sent you guys, and I think they were all unders, and this might have been the only over that I liked for the whole week. And so to me, this could be like the sneaky, I don't even know if it's that sneaky, but a shootout. The total's at 45. But I just think both offenses really match up well against the opposing defense. Minnesota is not the greatest defense against wide receivers. I mean, you've seen the Bears, take advantage of it. Teams all year have taken advantage of it. I think Marvin Harrison sets up super well. Trey McBride is basically like a receiver. I think he scores his first receiving. Can you believe he hasn't scored a receiving touchdown all year?
It's crazy.
Insane. And so I think he gets one finally. I think Justin Jefferson has an amazing matchup. I think he's going to eat in the middle of the field here. Arizona typically, they don't like Jordan Addison is someone that I would kind of be down on in that game, but I think Jefferson just eats in the middle of the field. They don't give up like those like super deep home runs, but teams will feast in the middle there. So I think Justin Jefferson finally has that like every rewind, like people forgot who he was, and now it's like, oh, that's Justin Jefferson. That's going to be this game. So yeah, I just think this is just going to be a shootout back and forth. Kyler running the ball, Darnold slinging it to Jefferson, but just back and forth all game, and shootout of the week for me.
I like it.
All right, that'll do it for our week 13 bets. Please leave a like, subscribe, and comment your favorite bet of the week, and have a happy Thanksgiving. We will see you next time.